Hello, everyone. Hello, especially people of Connecticut. Welcome to the Connecticut Common Sense Podcast. Back from a long trip from Vermont here, Jason Douglas, along with Selena Rifkin. We're winging it tonight. We're going to talk about a lot of different things that affect Connecticut, affect the country. It's good to be back. I've been on vacation for the last week, 9 days actually, stretched to 10. That Monday afterward is really nice to
You
not
needed
do much
some
with.
landing time, didn't you?
Yeah, you got to unwind and what a great every just to be every week I take last year was 2 weeks actually, and it's going to be 2 weeks from now on. By the way, 1 week's not enough, but it was a true vacation. I guess is my point. Sitting by a cold lake up in northern Vermont.
And you didn't take your phone.
No, well, I did actually end up bringing my phone with me because I'll tell you why.
Told me you weren't gonna.
I wasn't going to, but the last minute I kind of had to because my daughter didn't was my daughter was going to come up with us and
Okay.
stay one night and then take the phone with her.
Okay.
But she decided to come later in the weeks instead. So I
Okay.
had the phone with me. I got stuck with it. But I shut it off and put it in my
Okay.
glove compartment.
Okay, fine.
Never took it out again. Till briefly on I opened it, checked my bank account for about 5 minutes, which
Okay.
made me shudder. Which gets into what I guess what I want to talk about a little about technology.
Uh,
And this was a true see. I don't take enough vacation. I work a lot, but when I do take a
and you're
vacation,
on the phone all the time
I'm
with me.
always holding that
All
phone.
the
I'm
time.
always, yeah. A lot of us are. I'm not the only one, but
Yeah.
with my job the way it is too, and being involved in media
And
and
on the road all
podcasting
the
things,
time.
yeah, we're always in politics. We're always holding the phone. So my vacation is a true vacation, like true. Like I literally last year I did not bring my phone with me. I had a guy working for me. He kept the phone the whole week. I literally did not bring it with me. That's 2 years in a row. I did not even bring it with me up there. This year I had it with me. But it's been many years that even when I have it with me, it just stays in the glove compartment off.
Hmm.
And when I used to have my business was younger and it was kind of didn't have the help, I would have to check. I would turn it on Wednesday at night. I take it up to St. Johnsbury, which is
Hmm.
in town up in Vermont, and I turn it on to see if anything really important was happening. I shut and while it was on, I'd be like, oh, I shut right back off.
Oh, there might be something happening.
Yeah. So like, I think that the vacation is pure in the fact to stay away from all kinds of technology.
Hmm.
Really altogether. And I have this theory, like anything after 1940 that got invented after 1940, I want nothing to do with it. So I can still have my radio and I can still listen to music. Although a CD player is technically 90s, just think of it as a phonograph from back in the day. I can listen to music and just there's no phone, there's no and then the funny thing about it is I'm it's not just me. I'm like so you know how they're always calling us Nazis on the right wing, right? The
Hmm.
left wing is always calling Trump Nazis, and
Right.
of course we're not Nazis. That's ridiculous. But when we get up to Vermont for my vacation, I'm kind of like a technology Nazi. I don't want anybody else to have the technology either. And it kills me that I don't have any power to enforce my fascist rule up there. It's terrible. I'm rooting for like I joke around like I want an EMP so I can like boom, set off an EMP kill everybody's power, People like other people I vacation with that go up there, they need my family. They want to watch their movie at night or they still
Mhm.
have to have their technology. They have to have their phone. They can't get away from it. And it just bothers me in some little weird way. I mean, I know I can't, it's like I'm powerless to stop them. But
Well, there's
it's
it
good
is.
for
I mean,
everybody
it's
that's
an
detached.
ongoing conversation with this stuff because it changes how we interact with each other, obviously. I mean, here you are on your nice vacation, and instead of interacting with you, they're interacting
Well,
with
to be
you.
fair, I'll be fair about it.
Okay.
During the day, nobody's really.
Okay. All right. You have to give
So
them
the
some.
20 minute,
Okay.
but I'm very like I'm like Darth Vader when it comes to like because even at night we can play Monopoly. Why can't we?
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? So like
I mean,
so people feel like they want to check in
from
with their phones
years.
at night. So it's not that horrific. They're not stuck on it all day. We're out doing things but still, when it comes to like later on, everyone seems to
Mhm.
want to fall back to their movie or their television or
Right.
their internet or their
Hmm.
Facebook or whatever it is. And they want to stay up on it, which I get, but still, it's like I feel like that, you know, and it's just a joke. I can't control what other people do. That's not my nature. But it's still like, why can't people just let go for the week? So I
Yeah.
really do become truly anti-technology and anti like video too. Like music is cool with me. And that extends at home too. Like, when people go on dating apps and they date or they're getting to know each other, they always say, "I love music," right?
Hmm.
Who the hell doesn't love music, right? There are some people, I guess there's a few people out there that don't, but most people like music on some level, right?
Yeah,
And
that's a human thing.
right, and everybody, and that's one of the things people put out there when they're introducing themselves to new friends or on dating, whatever. They say, "Oh, I like music," right? Well,
Hmm. What
I
kind
think
of
that
music?
I truly like when I say I love music, though, like I really, really mean it.
Hmm.
Like I don't want, like I would rather have music than television any day. Like my son thinks I'm crazy because he thinks music's for the car.
Right.
He loves his music in the car, but he thinks when he comes home it's time for TV. That's just the way it is. I would rather not. I'd rather just have the music at home. I want the music all the time. Like I
Hmm.
have this vision of my dream house is it's all music in the living room. It's all about the stereo and the music and the sound. And then yes, there is a TV,
Right.
but the TV is like you don't see it if you look on it. Where's the TV? It's behind
And
some
it's
kind of a
hidden.
little wooden panel door. You hit a little button, and if
Right.
you need the TV, you can pull it out. And there it is, right? But that's not the governing thing of the living room. You
Right.
see, it's the music, the
Right.
TV. But most people, that's not how it is. It's TV, 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 right? So you know where I got the idea from? The TV with the little cupboard behind the little
Mhm.
cupboard from
Okay.
Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Remember
Okay.
Mr. Rogers?
Oh yeah.
You ever watch Mr. Rogers? We all, most of us around my age, watched Mr.
Yeah.
Rogers.
Yes.
Yeah, remember you see his little house. He had like the little living room, a little kitchen,
Mm-hmm.
right? But he also had this third room that you almost never saw.
Mm.
It was Mr. Rogers' den.
Okay. I
Yeah,
don't remember
little.
the
You don't
den.
remember the den?
Don't
See,
remember
only
the
a
den.
true Mr. Rogers connoisseur would
Oh,
know about the
stop.
den. See,
I wouldn't call myself a connoisseur, okay?
I only saw it two or three times. I think twice, maybe ever, in all the years I watched Mr. Rogers as a boy. But he had this third room, his little den, and that's what he had. He'd show movies on it once in a while, and he hit a little button, this little panel open. There was the TV
Oh.
behind the little hidden cupboard. It looked like a regular cupboard. I was like, that's a cool idea. So anyway, I'm going off on a tangent here, but the lake was beautiful, and it's really about letting go.
Hmm.
And I think that people these days, I guess what I'm getting at is people these days are so caught up in the day to day hustle bustle of everything. The rat race in America, in this country, and in Connecticut, gets worse and worse and
Yeah.
more intense for people. It
Yeah.
takes more to get less. There's so much pressure on the middle class,
Mm.
and so it's important to. I think people don't know how to let go. I hear about people all the time that don't go on vacations, but they call them working vacations. What
Yeah.
the hell is a working vacation?
Hmm.
That is an oxymoron. That does not exist. There's no such thing as a working vacation. If you're working, well, you're not on vacation. I
Yeah.
don't care if you're sitting, I don't care if you're at the Bahamas or where you are. I don't care where you are. If you're still working, you're not on vacation. There's no such thing as a working vacation.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
You're not. Americans are, we are serious workaholics. I mean, it's a reality. And
Some of us,
And
many of us.
personally, I'm okay with it because the stuff that I'm doing, it makes me really happy that I'm doing it. Like
Yeah,
if
but
I'm
you take
writing,
breaks. You take breaks, don't you? You take vacations and stuff.
I
Are
haven't,
you? Are you, Selena? Are you a workaholic?
I might be, but, but,
Oh, that's
but
all.
I
We're
am
going somewhere
also,
here.
I am so happy doing what I'm
That's
doing.
fine if you're happy. It makes you happy.
Yeah, I mean, I love writing. I love sitting down and writing, and I would, it's like, and I need to get up and
Don't you need time, quiet thinking
very
time to come up?
happy. I go out in my garden almost every day. I'm
Yeah.
out, I go out there, I'm weeding, I'm hanging out with my cats.
Okay.
I'm picking tomatoes. I was picking a bunch of tomatoes. I've got a bunch of tomatoes. I've got like several
Nice.
pounds of tomatoes coming in already. So,
I've been into tomato and matzo balls lately.
oh,
Tomato,
oh
matzo,
yeah.
and Italian dressing lately.
Oh,
A
nice.
lot.
You mean
I'm eating
mozzarella?
mozzarella, cheese, and tomato and
Okay.
Italian dressing. Yeah, I've been
That's
eating that a
different
lot.
from matzo balls.
That's different than matzo balls. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. My husband's Jewish. Believe me, I know about the
Yeah,
matzo.
matzo ball. I know. I learned that when I ordered the soup at the diner. It's not the same thing. You're right.
No,
But I used
it's
to call
not.
it matzo ball. That's what I used to call it. So I started having to
Okay,
break.
all right, fine. Fine. But yeah, I mean, Americans are workaholics, but if you're not passionate about what you're doing, like I love what I'm doing.
Yeah, of
I
course.
am
I
not
like what I do.
happy. I unwind as I need to. I have my altar over here. I go over and pray when I need to. I do those things. I'm good at the self-care thing.
That's your way of taking a break by
It
giving
is.
yourself.
It
You
is.
know, and as a writer, in order to come, I'm sure as a writer, you must need some quiet thinking time for ideas to flow through your head
Yeah.
to help
Well,
to
sometimes
help
that's when
you
I'm supposed to
cultivate
be
your.
asleep,
Yeah, yeah.
and I can't control that. Sorry. I try. I really do. I'm doing the
I
best.
do feel sympathy for people that have trouble falling asleep sometimes.
Well, thanks.
Feel sympathy for that.
It's so great. Yeah.
I hope it never happens to me.
Yeah.
It has happened to me. There have been nights where I've had trouble sleeping before,
Mhm.
and when that happens to me, it means there's something terribly wrong that I can control and fix that I'm not fixing.
Oh, okay.
And that's
Yeah.
it's happened only a handful of times ever, really. But I do feel sympathy for people that have trouble. I know that Melissa has trouble falling asleep a lot. It takes her over an hour, a lot, oftentimes to probably drift to sleep or longer. So,
Right. So
but
I was
anyway,
wondering if
I guess my point is there's a lot of stress on people, and I think people should let go and put the phone down and put it
yeah.
all aside for a
No,
few
I
days
think you're
every
right.
year if
I
they
agree.
can.
I agree with you. I mean,
Balance. It's about balance.
my other job is I'm a massage therapist, and I work on people who are stressed all the time. And
Mhm.
I have to be that presence that lets them calm down. So I'm pretty good at that. It's like, and I have to pay attention to where they're at. Do they need silence? Do they want to be chatted with? What do they want? I just try and give them what they want. And that's like, it's not like I can say, well, what do you want? Do you want a conversation? You have to read people. So yeah, but I think your point is well taken because we are so focused on material things at this.
Multitasking and material
Well,
things and
I
achievement.
mean, you've got to, and we all want to live a good life. We want to,
Sure.
you want to have, for some of us, things, it's like they want to have the toys, like, my friend up in Maine, he's got all of the hunting toys, and he's got the ATV, and he had his, for a long time he had a snowmobile. He liked
Sure.
that stuff. So it's like, okay,
I guess I'm not like that as much, but I
yeah,
get it.
I'm not either. We live very frugally here. Most it's like we have like one new appliance in the house. It's like
I'd rather
everything
spend a
else
couple $100
is come into the house used. But the other piece of this is like if you're working that hard, what are you working for? Like
yeah,
a lot of parents are like, oh, I've got to get my kids off to college. Well, we now know that's nonsense. It's
right.
like, you really don't want to send your kids to college because
No, you don't. Not in
that
Connecticut for
unemployed,
sure.
unless they're going in engineering or something.
Right, right.
So, it's, yeah. So I think it's time for us to start rethinking how we're living our lives. And that is hard in Connecticut because we have to work very hard just to pay the taxes.
And also another thing that just to pay off the government the high prices.
Yeah.
So, but here's the thing: when it comes to production versus hours worked, that's a correlation. That's a reverse correlation. It's a bell curve. In other words, if you work between 40 and 50 hours, your highest production level of working per hour, most for the average person, is between 40 and 50 hours a week. And so
Mhm.
after you work more than that,
Oh yeah,
then your production level goes down because you're not resting.
yeah,
You're not as
and
effective. You're gonna make more mistakes. You're gonna so if you think that the more you work, the more you're gonna get done, that's true to a point.
right.
And
Yeah.
then it goes
And I
like
think that
this.
when I'm writing, I am not stupid enough to keep writing past, 1 o'clock.
Right. There's
Because
a time
it's
where
going to be a waste of my time. It's like, do I get more words in? But it's like I'm heading towards burnout at that point. And it's like that doesn't do anybody any good.
no, and that's true for if you take any single given one day, that
Mhm.
works for that, and it also works over the period of your working life too. So
Right.
if you never take a vacation for 5 or 6
And if
years,
you've got kids, what do you do with your kids?
right?
Yeah. So,
So right, exactly. So it's just
and
it's a
what
juggling act, and this
you
all
have
leads to
kids.
the kind of pressure that
Hmm.
is placed on the middle class Americans
Yeah.
today,
Yeah.
including Connecticut, especially in Connecticut.
Yeah. Especially in Connecticut. I mean,
Right.
any state that has I bet you know this, but I'm going to ask anyway because I don't know if our audience knows it. Who is the biggest employer in the state?
Yes. Are you asking me? If it's not travelers, probably.
Uh-uh.
It's probably or it could be GE. No, it was GE. It
Nope.
would have been GE.
Nope. Nope. You're not even close.
Amazon?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Who?
You're not even close. The state of
Oh,
Connecticut. is the biggest employer in the state.
Okay, you're right. You didn't say what's the biggest private employer in the state, so you're right.
Oh,
I missed.
I
No,
yeah.
no, it's me. I should have taken the question on face value instead
You
of
should have.
putting my own word into it.
I try to be very precise in
I
my.
just didn't think of the state of Connecticut as qualification, but that's my bad. So, all right, yeah, that's your point is well taken here, and that's not the way it's supposed to be.
No.
That's something that old Ben Franklin or John Hancock or um, you know some of our
Our
founding fathers
founding fathers
would
wouldn't
have
even imagine that.
they
They
would have been
wouldn't even.
pretty upset about that to hear about something like that.
Yeah, they wouldn't have imagined that.
No, they wouldn't even
This
have
is, I
imagined
mean,
it.
this is why our taxes are so high. There's a whole pile of stuff. People are getting paid to do who knows what. And we talk about working too hard. My guess is these people are not working too hard.
No, and the worst part about it is, I think out of the 50 states, Connecticut is the 50th deepest stated blue state right now of all the 50 states.
Yeah, yeah,
I
well,
I, I don't think there's
I
another
still
one.
might be a toss up between this and Massachusetts. I don't know. Uh,
Massachusetts seems to have a little bit better of a Republican committee going on than Connecticut does, and
maybe
they don't have
I
the
don't know.
they don't kind of have the kind of judiciary problems we're having as well.
Yeah, I
Uh,
don't know.
uh,
They may not need to.
Not as systematic. They're having them, but not as systematic. But here's the thing about it is that I guess my point is that we need help from the outside.
Yeah. Which, now that you mention that, this is one of the things that you missed this week is that the Trump Justice Department of Justice has started asking states for their voter rolls because they want to look at them.
Yeah,
And they started with a few, and then it was up to 10, and the next thing I turn around it's 16, and so I went and asked Grok. I said, "Give me a list."
right.
Connecticut is on the list. So I heard
Good.
one of the pieces of commentary is that they plan to do this with all 50 states, which is good.
Oh,
I'm just happy that Connecticut is on that list. Um, I'm currently working on an article for the Connecticut Sentinel, which should be done tonight, but it's just really interesting. I mean, this whole thing with our voter rolls, there's so many pieces of this. So you've got the really messed up voter rolls, and they are messed up. We have dead people voting in Connecticut. We know this. There's
a lot of them.
a lot of them.
Yeah.
They literally will change. So if you're looking at the voter rolls during the period of an election, because our voter rolls are it's an open system, and there's a specific word for it. So what happens is that it gets changed in real time.
Mhm.
So what you can do is you can, when you're asking for when you're doing FOIA requests, Freedom of Information Act requests, you can, which by the way, if you're doing it for the entire state, it costs $300. Just so you guys know that. But what you can do is you can ask for a specific timestamp. And if you're going through elections, you can ask for the voter roll, the voter records with that are time stamped. And I don't know if they did this for Connecticut because I haven't seen that piece, but they've done this. The United Americans has been doing that with other states, and they take it's like a screenshot, and they say, okay, how many votes do you have for this candidate? And then 2 hours later, how many votes do you have for this candidate? They have literally seen votes disappear for one candidate and then appear for another candidate.
Yeah.
Like things just magically switch. So
Obvious.
this is a problem. So this is and then we have the dead people voting. We have voters switching in the middle of an election. We know about the ballot boxes,
Yeah,
which
there's 12 different ways that there's cheating.
yeah, yeah, there's tons of, there's the voter registration. Then there's the voting machines. And I'm going to keep saying this because I think it needs to be said. We are not required by state law to use voting machines. The state constitution says we may use them, not that we must use them. That's the distinction. Towns do not have to do this. Hand counting, not that complicated, not expensive. You'll hear that it's expensive. It is not expensive. That's nonsense.
So,
So this is, so if
Oh,
we're
cheaper.
looking at our voter rolls, that is awesome. I'm really hoping that on a federal level, they say no more voting machines and they start requiring hand counts for, all federal elections, which
That's
was,
going to be a problem though, because the Constitution, the United States Constitution, kind of leaves the authority to handle elections and manage elections to the
not
states.
federal elections. No, not federal elections.
Only on state level then.
Yeah, that would still leave Connecticut able to use it for state level elections.
Right.
But again, the state
Would help. It would
constitution
help Chris. It
doesn't
would help Amy.
require it.
Certainly help Amy and Chris and Jonathan.
Yeah, yeah, ideally.
Whoever we run for. So governor though, no help there.
No, it would not, it wouldn't help with that. But I did, and there are some, it'll be interesting to see who else ends up on the ticket, because I guess Aaron Stewart's gonna run.
Esther is not the girl.
No, I agree. I don't think so either. But
No, no.
we're gonna see what comes up. One of
We're
the things that popped up in my conversations this week is, because I talked to people about the state GOP a lot, and someone was asking, how it's like, well, how much? And it was like, someone's asking great questions. Okay, how much? Where did the money that, the GOP got in, where did that go? And I was like, okay, well, I sent them a link to Open Secrets. And they didn't quite get, it's like, so where it's like, are they, they still have the impression that that the Connecticut GOP funds candidates. They do not. The state GOP does not fund candidates. We have in Connecticut basically the state funds
Yeah.
elections.
Right.
They fund candidates. Now, so I think I was able to explain this to this person.
Okay.
And each candidate has a certain amount of, like, they have to raise this much money from this many people in order to qualify for the state, for the state grant. But what's really interesting is that you're not supposed to do a limited amount of your own money that you can use. You're just not allowed to use that much. And I think it's not that much. It really isn't that much. And
Which I don't understand.
yeah, but it's supposed to, the idea is
I want to fund my own campaign,
rich
I guess.
people from, from
The
getting
idea is rich billionaires can't come in and take
yeah,
over, but there's other ways they can disqualify that without
right, yeah,
limiting the.
it's and obviously that sort of thing is potentially sketchy. But what I found very interesting is that I heard it from, and I'm going to say his name because we had a face-to-face conversation, Ben Rogers, who was in State Central.
Yeah. Okay.
When I had a conversation with him, and he was very upset about one of the candidates that's running, and he said, well, you have to raise $1 million in order to run for for Congress. And I'm like, money doesn't vote, and I was like, I'm very new to this, so I'm just like, since you haven't been doing your job, since you guys have clearly not been doing your job, I'm going to be a little skeptical of anything that you say. That's just
Right. That's how it is. Yeah.
yeah, that's, and I think that's fair, because whatever you're saying is just not.
Results are what they are.
Yeah.
Suck.
Yeah, the results are what they are, exactly.
Right.
But yeah, and so I've heard that from several other sources at this point, that the Connecticut GOP is telling people, it's like, oh, if you want to run, you need to raise $1 million. I'm like, why are you telling people that?
Yeah.
Because that's not what that's
trying
not
to discourage regular people from running is what he's doing.
That was the only conclusion I was able to come to.
Sure.
There's
Keep
some
the grassroots out. They're a little elite little club.
Yeah, I'm tending to think it's probably more about discouraging people than anything else. I mean, that was like, what else could it be?
Look, Connecticut is so deep blue right now that in terms of the government now, not the people. I'm not talking about the people. I'm talking about the government.
Good distinction.
It's so deep. They have really very little regard for our rights at all. Look what happened with John Flynn, right? And then there's little things too. I'll tell you a little thing. This morning at 9:00 this morning at our place, the power went out. Just went out. Poof. What happened? No storm, no anything. The weather looks great. What's going on? So we noticed that there's someone working. There's people working down on the street. So we walked down there, and said, "What
what's up?
What's up?" Right? Oh, yeah, power's going to be out until about 1:30 or 2:00 this afternoon. Okay. Thanks for letting us know. We appreciate the advance notice. I guess my point is, I got to tell you, back in when we were growing up in the 80s or 90s, we would have got a letter from the town saying we're going to be having a power outage on this date and time for 6 hours due to construction or, what needs to get done. And there would be notice. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There are people that we rely on electricity for things like diabetes and defibrillators and
Yeah.
whatnot. They have the
Yeah.
power just
No, I didn't.
numerically go off. Now we understand thunderstorms happen, power goes out,
Right.
but to have it be the government doing it,
Right.
just shutting it down, no regard for anything, just no
Right.
notice, nothing, just
And
it's gonna shut
clearly
down for.
they knew how long it was going to be
And
out.
they knew it was going to be out for several hours, not just for half an hour, 15 minutes. We're talking about for 6 hours here, 5, 6 hours.
Yeah, if somebody's on oxygen or something, that's
Yeah.
bad.
So that kind of disregard for the people it's a small example, but a very good example of the kind of attitude that our government is developing toward our people.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and
Yeah.
that's just a small story. It's a minor thing. We were
Mm-hmm.
able to live through it, no problem. But my point is, there's people whose kids are being
Mm-hmm.
indoctrinated into transgenderism, and
Yeah.
there's all kinds of terrible things that are happening to people around Connecticut because there's no regard for parental rights. There's no regard for
Mm-hmm.
our personal rights as people, our own Bill of Rights.
No,
The gun
so
control laws in
we're just
Connecticut are
here
through
to
the
be
roof.
milked. We're just here to be milked.
We're just
So,
here to be milked for what we can pay, and the only thing that we have going in Connecticut is there's no wall. People can still leave,
mm-hmm. And they have been.
and they have been.
Yeah.
So we need a new government in Connecticut, and I don't think it's going to happen overnight. But I do think we
No,
need to.
this is a marathon, not a
The
sprint.
supermajority must be eliminated in November of next year. I think that's the goal.
Yeah.
For, and we got to get Chris Lancia, John DeBarros, and Amy Chai elected to Congress. And I think we can
Yep.
do that. That'll
Yep.
get us 3 out of 5 represented in Congress. I like to look at what and with what's happening in Texas now with the district
Oh
redistricting.
yeah, that's
The
interesting.
kind of hypocrisy going on with that. Wow.
Yeah.
So without getting into too much detail of that, but it makes me wonder what Connecticut's district, what the last time we redistricted in Connecticut,
Yeah.
and how that shook out, where we are with that, and why, and all of a sudden why we have 46% of the people voted for Trump, but we have 0% representation in Washington.
Right.
States like Illinois have 47% of people voted for Trump, and only 15% of their representatives in Illinois, say for example, in Washington. So that's a product of bad redistricting, of corrupt redistricting,
Yeah.
of
Some of it's
gerrymandering.
going to be the census thing too. And if they end up doing a new census and not including, and that never made any sense to me because I remember the census people came to our house.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I don't remember how it came up, but it's like, oh, does it count if we're a citizen? And it was like,
No.
it doesn't matter. I'm like, why in the Hades would that not matter?
Of course it matters, right?
And obviously it does matter. So
well, hopefully they're on the new. I'm not even sure which department handles the census. Is it the Department of Interior?
Well, it's Marjorie Taylor Greene is actually putting forth a bill that is like to redo the census, and
revamp the questionnaire. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, they just want to redo the entire census with the provision that you don't get to say you don't count non-citizens. You just don't.
No.
So,
but I think it would be good to have a check mark there for non-citizen, though.
Well, we should know.
For the ones that are dumb enough to check it off, we can figure out who they are. Or at least be able to count that we know maybe have an idea of how many non-citizens we do have here.
Yeah.
And if you're here legally and you're on the path to citizenship, you should be counted, I think.
Well, yeah, on a census.
Maybe not to vote, but at least be counted in the census.
No, we just need to know who's here.
Sure.
We just need to know who's here.
And we are a melting pot here in America and in Connecticut. We want people from other countries to come here and help. That's the way. That's the foundation of our country. So the idea that we're anti-immigrant. I wouldn't
mind putting a hold on that for a while.
You hear about how there's such a large percentage of ICE agents are actually Hispanic background?
They're motivated. They're like, because they're the people that bloody well worked on. Did you know there's 72,000 applications for ICE right now?
Wow.
Yeah.
If I was younger, I would consider it.
Yeah.
It'd be a cool job. And they're giving out why? They're giving out $50,000 bonus, sign-on bonuses too.
Sure.
That's got to be some incentive.
Yeah.
Makes me want to too old.
I am too little for that job.
Look, I don't want to see ICE agents barging into the homes of people who've been here for 10, 12 years, and they're
They don't need
productive
to.
members of society, and they're not doing that stuff. But I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that either. I think there should be a plan for people like that.
Mm.
You know, true people that have assimilated and part of this country. You know,
Well,
yeah, they should pay a fine. I
that's
mean,
what
if you
Reagan
broke the law,
did.
you broke the law, though. You know what I mean? You should pay a
Yeah.
fine. You should pay for it. But I can't imagine.
Well, here's the thing, Jason. There is still the ability, people can still leave voluntarily. They will give them some money to leave voluntarily. And
Yeah,
like, if you want to come back, come back.
give them a
But
chance to come back.
I'm kind of I'm right now I'm line in the sand because Reagan said, okay, all these people can assimilate. And
Yeah,
how
yeah,
we
he
ended
did
up.
the embassy thing. Yeah, that hurt his popularity a lot toward
Well,
the end of his
not
presidency.
just that, but it like it opened the door for what we have now.
Yeah, that's true.
It
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, so it's like, guys, just go home if this isn't your place, if you're here illegally, go home and then apply to come in later.
Yeah, come
So
legally. I'm with that. I can down with that totally.
this
And
is
right now we're still. Well, I think we're very much still in the phase anyway. Right now we're getting rid of the
yeah.
criminals first. So
Yeah,
anyway,
they're gonna be on
we're
that.
gonna be doing that for probably another year or two, or for a while.
But some of
But
these people are horrible, horrible.
oh,
Oh
I know.
yeah, I just
The left, the left wing leadership, far left wing leadership in this country right now is really showing their hand right now. Are
yeah.
they not? I mean, what they're doing is just they're basically saying all out, "Hey, we're the criminals. Try and beat us," without saying it literally. They're
Yeah.
almost. I mean, they're just in total disregard. This thing going on with Texas. I mean, this is just normal political procedure what they're doing down there.
Yeah, it is.
It's
And
being
well,
they're
what
talking
is
about,
there
and they're
there to
going on
went
TV and
to
talking about it as
Chicago?
if it's some kind of a insurrection.
I
They're the
think it's
ones.
hilarious that they all went to Chicago. Does that say something right there?
What's up with the governor of Illinois and the governor of New York stepping in Texas affairs too?
Yeah, yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
it's getting crazy.
It's like, yeah, it's
People are unhinged, Selena. People are unhinged.
yeah.
On the
Well,
left especially, and
it's
and
been
some of the
going
people
that
on our
way
side
for a
too.
while. Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah. There's some crazy on the right too.
there's some out there that. But here's the thing, though. This is what I'm afraid of because they're taking the gloves off.
Hmm.
Then we're gonna have to take the gloves off too at some point. We can't just let them keep slapping us around.
Well, we'll see how it
What
goes.
and what is with NB? Why do our major networks side with Hamas and things like that? Why do they suppress the true crimes that are committed against the Jewish people? And I don't get it. How is that?
Well, that is, I mean, that Jason, that is such a long-standing thing.
How did that happen with our three major networks though? It's so. I know how it happened. I'm a historian.
How it happened.
I know how it happens, but it still makes me scratch my head.
I know it's still a mind blower. I mean,
Ooh, mind
my
blower.
husband, my husband, who I've mentioned is Jewish.
Yeah.
He isn't, he just looks at this and goes, yeah, well, another day, another Jew hater. That's what it is. And it is, and I struggled with this for quite a long time in terms of, well, are people who hate Israel, it's like, oh well, we love the Jewish people, we just don't like Netanyahu. And it's like, well, Netanyahu is one of the reasons why Israel like continues to have borders
Yeah, why they exist.
and they're defending themselves. And does everybody in Israel like exactly what he's doing? No more than everybody in the US likes what's going on here. But I think what I take from the existence of the state of Israel, take it from Charles Krauthammer, rest his soul, is that he pointed out that Israel is the only place where the numbers of the Jewish people continue to increase.
Right, and where there's
In the
democracy,
Western world, the numbers of Jews are decreasing.
they're
And
being murdered.
well, no, it's not that they're being murdered, it's because they're not having children.
Okay, well,
It's
it's both.
well in the Western world, in
Yeah,
the
okay.
United States especially, it's like once people hit a certain education level, once women in particular hit a certain education level, the birth rate tends to go down.
Yeah, that's true.
Statistical fact. Jews
Yeah,
are not immune from this, and if you'll remember, most Jews go to college.
That's why they hate the Jewish people are hated so much because they're wily and they're smart and they're good at saving money and they're just
it's a
good, smart people.
and this is the culture that I've been engaged with for the last 25 years. And first of all, it starts out because having discussions about things is normal in Judaism. That's what you're supposed to be doing. You talk about
Right.
everything. This is
It's
why,
conducive to democracy.
there's so many Jewish lawyers.
Right.
Because it's actually, this is what you do in the Talmud, is like the teacher will sit you down and just give you, okay, what's this side of the argument? What's that side of the argument? They don't care.
Right.
You're just
Yeah.
you're gonna tell both sides of the argument. It's like it's freaking debate club.
Which is the essence of debate, which is the essence of the American way.
It is. It absolutely is. Now,
Yeah.
the problem is that, Jews go to college a lot. My husband is in the trade. He's a weirdo. His family loves him because he's the only family member they got who's in the trade. The rest of them, one's an accountant.
Yeah.
One is an artist. We'll give her that. But one's
blue collar Jewish guy.
yeah, and actually his brother was actually he worked for what was the gun company that was in New Haven? I'm just blanking.
Smith and Wesson.
Yeah, he used to work for Smith and Wesson. And he was he had a class 3 license and stuff like that. But and then the other one's a physicist. So, he worked up at UConn. He's retired now. But, so it's like, smart people in the family, but knowing how to think as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, so it's, but then if you go off to college, you're going to get indoctrinated. And that's really what's been happening. And this is why so many Jews are like, have sympathy for Hamas, which is
hard to believe.
Yeah. And we've struggled over that. And I mean, my husband's lost friendships over it. It's tragic. I mean, I've lost friendships too, but over that thing in particular, it's like, are you kidding me? Really?
So that's there. So when you have a debate with a Jewish individual who is sympathetic with Hamas, what is their argument?
I think it's guilt, and I think it's brainwashing from,
They know the Jewish people are indigenous to the land of Israel. They're the original. They're like Native Americans to that place.
I think it's guilt. I think it's guilt. I honestly think it's like, and I think this, I think this is an interesting conversation about what happens when you end up with a lot of money. And if you're good at making money, there's a degree to which people say, oh, okay, maybe I've got enough money. What can I do with this now? Because they're like done figuring out. It's like maybe they've lost whatever their goal was, or their goal was to have enough to do X, Y, and Z. Now they've got enough money to do X, Y, and Z, but they've got a lot more money than they thought. And they're like, oh, what can I do to change the world?
Yeah, that sounds like a good problem to have.
Yeah. But at the same time, it's like, have you really thought through? And I think a lot of people feel guilty about having, earned a lot of money. I mean, obviously not everybody is, some people actually seem to be a little more grounded about it. But if you have a lot of resources and then you just feel guilty, then you're going to be very susceptible to this stuff, especially I think, and I honestly think that people who are more on the if you want to talk about a psychological scale, there's the Big Five personality test, and there's an aspect of that called being open to new experiences. And this is my theory, it's just my theory, but I think people who are high on the open to new experiences scale might be a little more available to soak in ideas that aren't the best thing in the world. Because if you're very open to new ideas, these are the people who live in cities because they like the excitement. They
Too
like
open to new ideas.
change. What?
They're too open to the new ideas, though. They're
Yeah.
taking
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
Like Elizabeth Warren, I listened, seeing her talking to the Madame the other day. She looked like she was going to kiss his feet. Oh, new ideas about groceries.
Oh, you mean Mom Dami? When she was talking to Mom Dami?
Yeah, to the New York dude there, copy guy there from New York. Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, that's crazy.
I know, and she's going on about how socialism. This is the way of the Democrats. It's like, yeah, I think we didn't know that, lady.
I know it sounds crazy. Now, I'm not gonna. I want to contrast for a minute Rosa DeLauro with Elizabeth Warren.
Have at it.
Okay. I think Rosadora is evil. I think
Okay.
she literally knows that she's hurting the people and doesn't care.
Okay.
Now, Elizabeth
I like
Warren,
the
on the other
term
hand,
unhuman, just
I
so.
don't think Elizabeth Warren is evil.
Okay.
I think she's crazy. And
Okay.
she's definitely means to an end person. And she's like you just described, open to all the new ideas.
Okay.
And just thinks that she's just delusional,
Hmm.
thinking that she is helping people, but she's so misguided
She
that
certainly does seem to believe what she's saying.
I think she really believes what she thinks she says, and
Hmm.
she's willing to lie. And she knows when she lies about things. Like there's a lot of nuance, and then she thinks it's a means to an end.
Hmm.
And I think she does have, believe it or not, even though I can't stand her. Um, I think she thinks she's helping people. She's not.
Yeah.
Whereas Rosa DeLore, on the other hand, I think is literally like the Wicked Witch from the West.
She's
Literally
gonna
knows
help
that,
the witches.
like, let them eat cake too, or whatever.
Mm,
You know,
yeah.
that's Laura Rosa DeLore. That's the difference. They're both now both of them are bad, bad. But I just
Hmm.
think they come from different motives and different
Hmm.
perspectives.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway,
I'm gonna digress just a teensy bit
okay,
because you described her as evil, and I have a minor problem. It's a minor problem with the term evil. My reason is that when people say someone is evil, it's almost like they're externalizing it. It's like, oh, that person over there is, they're bad. And once you say that person over there is bad, it's almost like you make yourself good, which is kind of what the left has been doing to us, is they've been saying, oh, you people are
perspective.
all, you're all bad. Um, so I have been using the term unhuman, and it comes from a book that I read recently.
Uh huh.
Uh, and the idea is that the nasty stuff that's been happening in our government, um, and which we can generally safely attribute to communism, but the urge behind communism, which is envy and resentment, that's a human thing. And we've had
Okay.
a long time.
Yeah.
And I liked the term unhuman because it's like this is all part of all of us to some
Yeah.
degree or another. We all have our envy and resentment. I mean, you wanted to be Darth Vader about, earlier in this earlier in this
Yeah, but
chat.
that's not from envy. That's just from wanting to
Well,
like
it's no, it's not for no, that one
no.
is that isn't
Right.
from envy and resentment,
No.
but it is also a like a desire to control things. And we can joke about it. And the fact that you can joke about it is that's important. We have to be able to
Sure.
laugh about this stuff
We
because
all want to control things we can't control. I think all of us want to control something that we can't control on some
absolutely,
level.
absolutely.
Even if we don't, even some of the most meek and shy and mild among us still secretly wish they
Oh,
could
you
control
betcha.
things.
Yes, and some of them are the most controlling. It's like really depends on.
I'm along the lowest on that level. Like I have no real desire to
I
control
mean,
anything.
yeah, I mean some it and we all have these different. I like the term unhuman just because it doesn't externalize the problem. So that's
Okay,
just
well, I never really thought of it like that.
yeah,
But so when I say something, I don't use the word evil that often.
right. Yeah, I know you haven't.
No.
So,
But it is a word. It's a viable word. It has a definition, in my opinion, and it means that you have no soul good in you. Like if you what you're doing is bad, and you know what you're doing is bad. You're doing it bad anyway, and
yeah,
that to me is, and if that's all you are about, now even Rose Laura probably might have a little great grandson that she's very good to, or whatever.
I'm sure.
So
I'm
nobody's purely evil. But
right.
if you're even Saddam Hussein, I understand was a wonderful grandfather.
Hmm.
Okay.
I just heard a story today about what was the big crime family in New York? Um,
Gotti's.
Gotti's, yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently they used to take they had a boat and they would take the boat over to this little, I think it was a Greek restaurant in Darien. And they would come in and the owner loved them. They said he was a gentleman. He was so nice to his family. It was just such a lovely, lovely thing. It's like mob, mob. It's like, well, they kill people.
Yeah,
That's
they kill people. Yeah, I
like,
know. Glorifying the mafia in movies and TV and things
right.
like that. I admit, I watched The Godfather. I enjoyed the movie like everybody else. But I get that, the underlying of that. Like, why are we celebrating this,
Hmm.
these
Well, I mean,
murderers,
your point was that, everybody's
bullies?
got some, they've got some good in them, and usually it's around their family.
Right. There's nobody that's to say something is pure evil. There probably that doesn't exist in anybody really.
Yeah.
But if you again, so when I say somebody's evil, that
Mm.
means they're predominantly evil.
Mm.
Guess what I'm saying. And I use that word again. If you are doing knowingly badly, doing things to harm other people, knowing that you're doing it, you're committing an evil act. May
Mm.
not make you pure evil, but it makes you an evil person. And
Mm.
then so I'm going to use the word when I feel like it's
I don't,
appropriate.
I'm
But
not.
I think I like the unhuman thing though because what you're saying is you're like a sociopath is essentially like an unhuman. Like they can't relate to another human being's.
You can behave in an unhuman way,
Yeah.
which is like you're not, you're not engaging all of your moral all of our
Right.
moral senses.
Right. And I'm not really saying by saying somebody's evil, it's not saying I'm necessarily good, but it is saying that I'm definitely not evil like that though.
Mm-hmm.
That person is I'm saying that
Well, you're
contract that
not doing that
person for myself, right?
stuff.
So
Doing that stuff.
yeah, I'm certainly not all good, but I
Yeah.
don't have evil like and then as far as like one thing I've always tried to do is like envy, you're talking about resentment and envy.
Yeah,
I
resentment.
try to have as little of that in me as possible.
Yeah.
I don't think I have a lot of that in me, honestly.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
when other people are richer than me or better looking than me or do better than me, I'm happy for those people. I don't feel
and I think that's a practice.
bad.
I think that is a practice that becomes a habit.
Yeah, I think it's
And
something that not everybody. It's something that can be learned. Yeah, like, it's something that
yeah,
can be learned.
yeah, I think it's yeah, I really
Some of it's the nature. It comes to do with inbred personality too.
yeah, sure. I
That's
mean, it's
both really.
part of human nature.
But it's something that the
With
left plays upon, though. The
what?
left plays upon, and the left is
That's
very good
yeah, and
at
that's
playing
actually
upon envy and jealousy to get
well,
people upset.
yeah, I mean that's very much what communism is about. I mean,
That's right.
it's like, destroy the proletariat and or destroy the bourgeois because they actually, they own something and they're good at it, so we've got to take it away from them because obviously they stole it.
Mhm.
And once
That's why you don't have anything.
right. Yeah,
Right.
it's not because I didn't work hard enough to do X, Y, and Z.
No,
And
right.
that's what our system in the United States is about is making sure that everyone has the opportunity to work as hard as they can and or as hard as they want to pursue happiness. It
Right.
doesn't
And it's
mean
up
you're
to
gonna
you to
get it.
decide. Right. It's up to
Nobody's
you to
going
decide how far you want to go, how far you
right.
want to work.
Yeah.
And so for me, I've decided that I want to work as hard as it takes to get what I need
Hmm.
and not necessarily everything that I want materialistically, but at least what I need. And
Right.
then some of the things that I want. And then I measure my happiness more on my relationships with people,
Right.
how I, my family, my friends, and that's my measures for success. So therefore, I don't that people have a lot more money than me.
Yeah, it's not that important.
That's fine. That was their priority. They went for that more. You
Right.
know, some of those
And
people don't. So, by the way, I can tell you for sure now, having been an investigator for 10 years, money and happiness do not go together.
yeah, I don't doubt it.
They don't. Money is only one piece that can help
Hmm.
a little bit along the way, but it's
Yeah.
not a necessary, not even a necessary thing. It's
Yep.
only necessary to a point. Obviously, you got to have shelter, clothing, or whatever. But
Yep.
having an excess amount of money, I guess, is
Mm.
not a necessary ingredient in being happy at all.
Yeah. My husband and I are both artists. He's a musician and and I'm a writer and we both value our time. Like, we want to be able to, pay the mortgage,
Time. It's more important, right?
but we want the time to do the things that make us happy.
Right.
And the time to hang out and go, go off to we went off to the Wadsworth last weekend, which was, we both loved it. It was so much fun.
Cool. I don't do enough of that. I don't do enough museum stuff.
There's some cool stuff in
I don't do a lot
Connecticut.
of that anymore.
There's
I've seen them. I've been to them all in Connecticut, but mostly as a
mall,
child on a field trip.
A mall, Jason? Really?
I've been to a lot of them, but
Okay.
all as
Oh, I
kids.
just thought you said a mall.
No,
And
I've
I'm
been to a
like,
lot of
what, you went
malls.
to the Crystal Mall?
Oh God, no! That's the last place I want to be.
Oh, I totally
I
misunderstood you.
can't stand malls.
Uh,
But I've been to a
okay,
lot of
I
museums
feel
around
better now.
Connecticut.
I feel better
Yeah, I've been to the Wadsworth. I've been to Mark Twain. I've been to
now.
places like that, but all as a kid.
Okay.
I've
Yeah.
I've only been to. I haven't been to a lot of them as an adult.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
We're aiming to, we're like building a list here. The Wadsworth is definitely, we're going back again because it's so damn huge that we
yeah,
only through like maybe a third of it,
Oh,
maybe.
wow, I'll have to check that out.
Oh, it's huge.
Is that basically the Smithsonian Institute of Connecticut?
Well, it's actually the oldest museum in the United States.
Wow.
Yeah,
So
it's the first museum, and they have a heck of a collection. It's
there's
really
such a great culture in Connecticut from the
yeah,
years
that's
past. It's too bad that so much of it's been buried. Like we don't have a gun industry here anymore, and
amazing.
we don't have, we used to have
Yeah, that's
GE.
that's that's a long-term goal to like, get our gun rights back here. I mean, and it
Right.
could be worse. Could be worse. We could be Massachusetts.
Yeah.
We still have it in our, it's still, our Constitution is still,
At least we're 49th in that one.
yeah. So,
But anyway, are
oh,
we are we there, or you got more?
almost. Because there's one other thing I wanted
Oh,
to
good.
mention, just because it was just, and it's nothing to do with Connecticut whatsoever.
That's okay.
But I don't know if you saw that Alberta, Canada, they are doing they're gonna be voting on independence.
What? No, I did not hear that.
Yeah,
Independence from Canada?
yeah, yeah, they are. Yeah,
Wow. When are they doing that?
I don't know. It's
What,
probably this fall.
was
I
this
don't
just
know
something that
exactly
came
when.
up while I was gone? That came up
Yeah,
while I was.
yeah, just in the last couple days, actually. I mean, I knew that they were working on a petition for
I didn't
it.
see that on Fox News or anything like that. Maybe I missed it.
No, well, you got to pay. You got to spend more time on X because that's
Oh, okay.
if
No, I
you.
haven't
I
been
don't
on
know if
X.
you know
The
this.
last 10
X
days
is
or so,
like,
I've not been on X hardly at all.
yeah, it's
Social
so
media
bad.
absent until at least until now, until today.
Yeah, but yeah. So that came up. It's like within the last day or two.
Wow.
So yeah, so it's actually official now. They've been kind of working on it, but now it's official, and
Now, is this good news for the MAGA movement or bad news?
no,
Is
I think it's like
Alberta friendly?
yeah. Oh yeah. Alberta is good. Yeah, Alberta's they're much
Interesting because
more.
they're right near Washington and Oregon and all that, right? Are
Yeah,
they?
and
Oh
and
no,
it's
British
it's
Columbia is the
also
last one.
it's
Alberta
actually
would be above
possible.
Montana,
It's
right?
actually, yeah. Well, what's possible is that Saskatchewan and maybe
Manitoba
I can't remember what there's a
might,
couple because they're all kind
might
of
join in.
as I know about Saskatchewan, I can't remember what the other two are, but
Okay.
that they're if they decide they're going to come along for the ride because they're all it's like Quebec and Ottawa, that's like and the capital is like all on that end,
Yeah,
and that's where all the crazy's coming from.
that's all the French
Yeah.
section. It's all that's
Yeah.
all. Yeah,
And Ottawa's like they're like, excuse me, what the hell? They're
yeah,
they're like so not on board with they're like the MAGA of Canada.
right.
And
Ottawa is, huh?
yeah. Not Ottawa. No, Ottawa's
Oh,
capital.
you mean Alberta?
Alberta.
Alberta.
Yeah,
Right.
Alberta. Yeah, and
Probably
Saskatchewan.
Manitoba, Saskatchewan too. My
Yeah,
guess is.
Manitoba. Yeah, yeah, Manitoba potentially.
Yeah.
We
And
haven't
then they
heard
got.
anything from them. I've only
Isn't that
heard.
interesting? The Yukon Territory, maybe up there too.
Yeah, yeah, it's like, it's like,
They could join the United States. We'd be happy to take them.
yeah, we would.
British Columbia is on the coast.
That'll be up to them, but
Yeah, of
they make
course.
a fine country all
They're
by
welcome.
themselves.
They'll
So
be welcomed in
yeah,
if they want to be. And then British Columbia is on the coast up there. I'm not sure where they're at. They might be more liberal.
I don't
That's
know
where
where
Victoria.
that
That's
is.
where Vancouver is, I believe, and all
Yeah,
that.
yeah, it is. So
Probably more
I
liberal.
don't know. I do. This is like, oh, interesting
We were
stuff.
just up there last May. Last year, we were just up there when I went on that Alaskan cruise. It was a
I've
good area.
never been to Canada. I've never been to
I've
Canada.
been to Canada. We took a ride around on across Ottawa and came down into Minnesota and whatnot.
Hmm.
Like a few years ago, maybe 10 years ago. Well, 8 years ago, maybe.
Hmm.
We've been to Montreal a couple times. So I've never been to
No,
Quebec,
that's
and I've
not
never
true.
been.
I did go to Montreal once. I forgot
Okay, I've
about.
never been to Quebec.
Went to a club.
Went to a club back in the day.
Well, I was hanging out with
Last
some
weekend.
friends. I was hanging out with some friends in northern Vermont, and they were like,
Okay,
we're gonna go up
we're
to
going to Montreal.
we're
Tag
gonna go
one
to Montreal.
on.
I'm like, oh, okay, all right.
Okay.
Yeah. So we went dancing. All right. Now I think we're there.
Okay. Well, it's been a great show. What do
Absolutely.
we have? Do we have guests coming up? What is it
Um,
coming up?
don't have any guests scheduled at the moment, so I guess I better
We'll
get
work
on
on that. We'll work on that. We're also just want to also say we're really excited that we're gonna turn this podcast into a much cooler thing down the road. We're gonna have a couple other
that.
podcasts that
Jason's
are
got
more national
ideas.
based and also
Uh,
more directed toward case studies and things like that. So
okay.
it's gonna be the common sense, the common ground, a bunch of stuff. It's gonna be great. We'll get into more details on it later.
All right.
In the meantime, awesome day. Have a great afternoon, great evening, everybody. God bless Connecticut. God bless America.
God bless America.